Hey guys, it's Matt Trendlover943. The other day I did a video on my MTH R32 Subway set that I got. And in that video I mentioned that I was going to convert the rest of the set to LEDs. So I've already done 2 of the 3 non-powered cars, but I have 1 more left to do. So on this video here we're going to do it on camera so you guys can see how to do it. And now while this video says Subway in the title, this really applies to any passenger car, but I just have it for the Subway set in the title and obviously this video. But the process for the MTH passenger cars, the Premier ones anyway, are the same as this. So if you have Premier passenger cars and you want to convert, you can do the same thing. Now, one thing to note is that I did not use capacitors on this, because for Subways, they flicker over switches and things, so I didn't really want them to be constant power, so I didn't use capacitors or DC power. I just left them on straight AC, so no caps or anything, and that's the way I wanted it. So, alrighty, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the materials you're going to need for this project are a screwdriver to open up the car, a strip of LEDs. Now these are the cool white LED strips that I've used for the Subway cars, and the main reason is these are the correct color for the Subway, so that's what we're going to use. Then I also have a soldering iron here. So alrighty, let's get started here. Okay, so I got the car on the side now, so we'll go ahead and pull the shell off. Now what you want to be careful with is there's the door tracks right here, so what you might have to do is you might have to spread the shell apart, kind of like this a little bit. You may have to. On this one it doesn't look like we have to. Nope. So there's our frame, so we don't need this, so we can set that aside. And what we're after is the shell. Okay, so I have ourselves zoomed in kind of close here. So what you want to do now is you want to remove these screws here, because these screws hold the light board in place. So you want to remove these. There's 6 of them. So we will remove these, and then the light board will come free. Okay, so I've removed all the screws, and in here we have the light board. Now, what you're going to want to be careful with is on this other end we have the spring terminal, and this is kind of what we're after to do this conversion. So what you're going to want to do, I'm trying to do it without shaking the camera, is you want to pull this out of here, and it's tied around this post that holds the screw in there, so it'll be like this when it's on, so you just want to do that with it. Then you can pull the light board free. And then there's the silver tape. You can do whatever you want with this. I personally remove this. Just proven to be kind of difficult here, but there we go. Do it from the middle there. And the key is you just want to remove this. Now, you want to be careful because of these door tracks here. So you kind of want to carefully remove it. Don't just, try to yank it out. Kind of work around the track, and then there you go. So I throw this away just because I don't need it anymore. And then now we're done with the shell, so we can set this aside and we can get rid of the towel, and we can focus on the light board, because what we're going to do is we're going to unsolder these 2 wire connections here, and then we will add in the LED strip. Okay, so I brought our towel back, and here's our shell once more. So here's our reel, and I've done a few of these cars, so I already know how many lights to do. But what you want to do is you want to figure out how many there are, so you'll want to cut it right here. And I forgot to mention in here you'll need a pair of scissors, but that's kind of self-explanatory. So I'll cut this, and then we will solder the leads on, and then we can mount it. Okay, so you kind of guess what we're going to do next. Just going to take our leads. Solder them on there. Like I say, I usually have a piece of tape on here, but I'm just using the track for now. Okay, and there we go, all set. So one optional thing you can do if you want is you can fire them up real quick just to see what they look like. So I have a 9-volt battery here. So there we are, pretty cool. Okay, so now we're ready to install the LEDs in the car. Now, there's two things you need to know. Is first, the orientation of where the spring connection is matters a lot. And when I did the last car, the other non-powered car, a couple days ago, I put the connection on here, but I put it the wrong way, and I couldn't figure out for the life of me why the thing wasn't powering up. So I looked at it again, and I'm like, oops, I put it on wrong, so you gotta be careful. And it goes on the B end of the car. So it would go right on here. The spring would be facing towards the rear end of the car. So right there. That's how you want it. And heck, while we're in here, you want to kind of route it the same way they had it. It's just the easiest way to go. I know you can't really see because of my hands, but that's kind of what you're after. Now, when you put the strip in here, it's going to go on the other end of the car. So it's going to go on this section here. It may slightly light up the end lights, but not really. So then you'll just want to peel the back and place it down, and then you're all set. And here's another just for fun. I went ahead and threw in the clips so you can kind of see what the interior lights look like with the shell kind of in place, quote unquote. Alrighty, so now we can go ahead and put the car back together, and that's it. Alright, so here's our shell, and what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that the slots for the doors are fully out so you can put the little tabs back on so you can still open them. So this is what you're after when the frame is back on. You want that door track to be right about there. And obviously once the screws are in place they'll be a little bit higher, but the point is you want to be able to install those little movers back on, the little levers. So we can put the screws back in and we're done. Alright, so we're going to be looking at this thing for the first time together. Here we go. Oh yeah, that's really cool. Real quick, I'll shut the lights off so I can look at it in the nighttime. How's that, huh? That is really cool. I really like that a whole lot. Now, one thing to note is that I left the powered unit stock for right now. And the reason why is because the lights that are in that are different than the lights that are in these cars. They're not the strips like that are in this. They're actually just small little bulbs that the lights are in. And the reason why is because for the electronics, you can't really just put a strip of lights and have it work with the electronics. So I'll do that car eventually, but for right now I'm just going to leave it stock. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. I'm Matt, channel over 943. Take care.